fabled heat, where magic meets desire. Subscribe to ignite the fantasy.
I sit in the human courtroom, a fairy bound in silk and wool, my dove-gray wings folded tight against my back. The scent of aged paper, stale coffee, and the metallic tang of anxiety presses against my nostrils, but it is the heat of Silas's breath that fills my senses. He stands across the aisle, dark hair slick with sweat, his cologne a thin veil over the raw, nervous musk of a man on the brink. When the judge's gavel crashes, the vibration reverberates through the marble floor, a thunderous reminder that my freedom hangs by a thread. The sound makes my heart skip a beat as I glance at the solemn faces of the onlookers. My fairy sight flickers, catching the ripple of magic that surrounds him, an erratic pulse, a frantic flutter like a trapped bird. I can see the lie he weaves, the oily sheen of falsehood clinging to his words. Yet beneath the deception, a current of something else thrums, a longing that makes my heart pound against my ribs, a heat that spreads from my throat to the tips of my wings. Silas's voice cuts through the courtroom, low and resonant, each syllable vibrating against my skin. "Your Honor, the contract was never signed," he declares, his words a promise and a threat. The judge's eyes narrow, and I feel the sting of his stare, as if he could strip my wings with a single thought. I swallow, feeling the silk of my dress tighten, the wool against my shoulders a reminder of the cage I've built for myself. Thorn, the royal enforcer, slides his hand around my wrist. His grip is firm, his breath warm against my ear. "The answer lies in your file," he murmurs, his tone a dangerous caress. I can taste the copper of his blood on my lips, the faint metallic tang of fear mingling with the sweet heat of Silas's lingering scent. My mind races, memories of stolen glances, whispered promises in the dead of night, the forbidden touch of his hand on my cheek. A flash of uncontrolled magic erupts from the judge's bench, searing my cheek with a white-hot spark. Pain blossoms like a flower, and I am forced to choose between the love that binds me and the freedom that could destroy us. Silas leans forward, his hand finding the scar on my wrist, his thumb brushing the raw skin. The contact sends a shiver of fire through my veins, and his eyes lock onto mine, fierce and pleading. "Run with me," he whispers, his breath hot against my ear, the words tasting like honey and danger. The courtroom erupts in chaos, guards shouting, papers flying, the magical spark still crackling. I feel Thorn's grip tighten, his fingers digging into my flesh, a reminder of the oath he swore to protect the kingdom. My mind flickers between two worlds, the safety of the throne's shadow, where love is a whispered secret, and the wild, uncharted sky beyond the palace walls, where my wings could finally unfurl. The choice feels like a blade pressed to my throat. I close my eyes, letting the sensations flood me, Silas's heat, Thorn's iron resolve, the sting of magic on my skin, the weight of silk against my heart. When I open them, I see Silas's hand still on my wrist, his thumb now pressing a soft, urgent rhythm. I feel the tremor of my own wings, the yearning to soar. "Enough," I say, my voice steady despite the storm inside. I turn my head toward the judge, my eyes blazing with a fierce light that no mortal can ignore. If my freedom is a crime, then I am guilty. The gavel falls again, but this time the sound shatters, scattering shards of marble like rain. Silas steps forward, his hand slipping from my wrist to rest on my shoulder, his fingers tracing the line of my spine. The contact ignites a fire that spreads through my entire being. Thorn watches, his expression unreadable, then slowly lowers his hand, the threat dissolving into a reluctant respect. The courtroom doors burst open, and a gust of wind rushes in, carrying the scent of rain and distant pine. My wings, still folded, begin to stir, feather by feather, as if remembering a forgotten song. I spread them, feeling the silk of my dress catch on the fabric, then tear away, the wool falling to the floor like ash. With a powerful beat, I launch myself from the marble steps, soaring above the stunned crowd. Silas follows, his hand finding mine mid-air, his grip firm yet tender. The world blurs beneath us, the palace walls shrinking, the sky opening like a promise. As we break through the clouds, the sun catches the droplets of magic still clinging to my feathers, turning them to fire. I look down at the kingdom we leave behind, at the faces of those who tried to bind me, and feel a fierce, adult longing settle in my chest, love not as a cage, but as a shared fire that fuels our flight. We rise together, two hearts beating in sync, the wind singing our names. The freedom we sought was never the absence of love, but the chance to love without chains. And as the horizon stretches before us, I know the choice was never between love and liberty. It was between a love that suffocates and a love that lifts us both into the endless sky.